And now let's revise very important chapter, that is, we are not afraid to die if we can all be together. This we have actually read in detail, but for the students who have joined now, I'm going to cover each and every minute point in the chapter, but I would definitely emphasize on reading the whole text. Please go through the whole text. So let's come to the summary part. We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together is a story of extreme courage and skill, exhibited, showed, presented by Gordon Cook, who's the narrator, with his family and crewmen in a war with water. He is not actually at a war with water, but he has to fight with water to save himself and waves for survival. The family celebrated their new year on board the ship. So let's begin the summary now. The narrator is a 37-year-old businessman. He and his wife Mary have dreamed to voyage. Voyage is an adventurous journey around the world like the famous Captain James Cook. So they want to copy Captain James Cook, who had done this journey. He and narrator and his family also wanted to do that. For this, they have been perfecting their seafaring. Seafaring means when you travel through sea. Skills for the past 16 years. So, before jumping into their war with water, before jumping into their dream, they practiced for 16 years. They have got a professionally built 23-meter and 30-ton wooden hulled boat, Wave Walker. So, this was the specialty of their boat, Wave Walker. The boat has been tested for months in the roughest of weathers. Again, before jumping into the water, they checked their boat Wave Walker into the roughest of weathers, because they knew that when once they would be in the water, they would have to face many of these kind of weather and scenarios. So in July 1976, the narrator, together with his wife and kids are here, son Jonathan, who's 6 years old, and daughter Suzanne, who's 7 years old, set sail from Plymouth, England. So they started their journey in July 1976, England. The initial period of 3 year journey. So it was planned for in 3 years. It was a long journey, 3 years, from the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. Proves to be quite pleasant. The initial period was very happy. Before heading east, they hired two crewmen, namely Larry Wiesel and Herb Zisler, to help them tackle one of the world's roughest seas, the Southern Indian Ocean. So when they entered into this dangerous sea, Southern Indian Ocean, they took two crewmen with them, and this was the ocean which actually created lots of troubles for them. The second day, when they hired the crewmen, they encountered strong winds and alarming waves. By December 25, they began in July 1976 till December 24th, all was okay. By December 25, they managed to reach 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. Despite the bad weather, the family celebrates Christmas on the boat. However, the weather worsens. It gets worse with the passing time, and on the early morning of January 2, the family faces strong, mighty waves and screaming winds. So on 2nd January, the weather was very, very bad for them. They attempt to slow down the boat by dropping the storm jib, which is an extra boat you have for your safety. They carry out life saving drill, and prepare themselves for the worst case scenario by donning means wearing, life jackets and oilskins. So they wear all the kind of protections. If they would be drowned into water, they should have all the kind of protection for them. Later in the evening, a perfectly vertical, huge, tremendous wave hits the deck of the boat, back part of the boat, throwing the narrator off the boat. He accepts his approaching death. This huge wave actually caused lots of damage to the boat, and the narrator accepted his approaching death. He knew that his death was near because the boat was just to go upside down, and begins to lose consciousness because he was hit into his head. His jaw was broken, his mouth was bleeding, and he was losing his consciousness. The boat is just about to overturn when another huge wave comes and turns it right back. So the wave was just going to go upside down into the sea, but next wave came and hurled it upright. Okay, it came right back. The narrator grabs the guardrails and sails into the boat's main boom. Boom is the kind of area where um, steering is there and all the control is there. He suffers injuries in his ribs and mouth. Realizing that the ship had water in its lower parts, he instructs Mary to take the wheel. He knew that there was water in the lower parts of the boat, so he asks his wife to take the wheel while Larry and Herb pump out the water because the water came inside the boat. It was very important for the water to be wiped out from the boat. While Larry and Herb pump out the water, he checks on the children in their cabin, where Sue, his daughter, informs him about a bump on her head, which he doesn't pay much attention. Because the wave hit the boat, everybody fell down, and there was a bump on Sue's head. But the father was so worried that he did not have the time to worry about the bumps. He ignored it. The narrator begins waterproofing the gaping holes, the gaps which were there in the boat. He tried to cover them with the waterproofing. Most of the water now deviated to the side. However, the hand pumps block due to debris, and the electric pump gets short circuited. So, with the waves, there was debris also, and the pumps stopped working, and electric pump got short circuited. Fortunately, he finds a spare electric pump and connects it to an out pipe in order to drain out the water. So, fortunately, they were having an extra pump and it worked out. They keep pumping and stirring all night long. Continuously, they were pumping out the water and stirring. Even their mayday calls are a kind of international system for telling the location and everything to these kind of boats and water vehicles. Mayday calls are not answered as they are in a remote corner of the world, so the connection was not there with the mayday calls even. Sue's head swells. The pump was not a normal one. It started swelling. Her eyes go black and has a deep cut on her arm. She also had a deep cut on her arm. On being asked about her injuries, she replies to her father that she did not want to bother him. When later on her father asked, "Why did you not tell me about your cut on the arm?" She said, "No, I did not want to make you worried. See the courage of a 7 years old girl, how understanding she is, how caring she is for her father." When he was trying to save them, she says that you were trying to save us, so I did not want to worry you with my injuries. The family manages to survive for 15 hours since the wave hit the boat. For 15 hours, they were just pumping out the water and managing all the holes to be filled and everything, making the boat again so enough to ride on for a few hours. The water levels are controlled to a considerable level, but they still have leaks below the water line. They decide to rest and work in rotations. The wave had left Wave Walker in a considerably bad state. The Wave Walker, the boat, was not in a good state now. Since it is not in a condition to make them reach Australia, they decide and hope to reach the nearest island. They could not go to Australia, they knew it. The boat was not in that much good condition. So they decided that they would have to stop at the nearest island. And the name of the island was Isle Amsterdam, which is a French scientific based island. Unfortunately, the chances to reach the island are very slim unless the wind and seas subside. If the weather is all okay, then they can reach to the island, otherwise, it was not possible. Besides, their supporting engine had also been damaged, so they were working only on a single engine. After pumping out the water for 36 hours continuously, they take some relief as just a few centimeters of water is left to be pumped out. So they had to pump out the water for continuously 36 hours. For 15 hours everybody was doing that, and after that in rotations. They decide to hoist the storm jib as the main mast is destroyed. So they did not want to put more pressure on the main mast, because that if the front would be destroyed, the water would enter the boat and it would all be destroyed, and head towards the supposed location of the island. So they just headed towards the supposed location of the islands. They were not sure because the signals were not connected to mayday calls, they were not getting answers, and the weather was very much bad. Having found some corned beef and crackers, they eat their first meal in 2 days. So they had a first meal in 2 days, just corned beef and crackers. Crackers are some salty biscuits. However, their relief is short lived. The weather starts changing for the worse. So they got some relief for very less time, and the weather again started changing for the worse. By the morning of January 5, they are again left desperate. As the narrator goes to comfort the children, he is left spellbound, amazed to see the fearlessness of his son. When he went to meet his children and assure them that everything would be fine, he himself was very much amazed when he saw that his son was so brave. Jonathan, he said that he doesn't fear death as long as they all are together. This was Jonathan who said these words. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together. So this title is taken from his words. This fills the narrator with determination and courage to fight the seas. So he got those vibes from his son, and he was now more determined. He tries his best to protect the weakened starboard side, the right side of the boat. He started to protect that. That evening, the narrator and his wife sit together, holding hands, feeling hopeless, and thinking that their end is approaching. Somewhere in their hearts of heart, they knew that they could not be saved. But still, with all the moral support that he receives from his children, he continues his efforts. He doesn't lose hope. Fortunately, Wave Walker sails through the storm. The boat is not drowned and they come out the storm. He works on the wind speeds in order to calculate their exact position. Compass was not working, so he worked on wind speeds to know the exact position, location. While he is thinking, Sue gives him a greeting card expressing her love, gratitude, and optimism. When he was doing this all kind of calculation, Sue comes and gives him a greeting card, and there some caricatures were made of the narrator and his wife, and it was all showing gratitude. She was thankful to her father who was working so hard to save them all. Though he is not very convinced, he instructs Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. He gives the location to Larry, saying that if they are lucky, they can hope to find the island by the evening. Without compass, without any connection, with the wind speeds and with his experience, he tells that maybe by evening they would find the island, Isle Amsterdam. He then goes to sleep with a heavy heart because he's not sure whether they will find it or not. Fortunately, again, they sail on and manage to find Isle Amsterdam by evening. So they luckily got the island. On being informed about this, the narrator's joy knows no bound. He was boundlessly happy, he was limitlessly happy. Jonathan calls him the best captain. He was the best captain. Without any compass, without any instrument, he made so correct calculation, and he was so courageous in the worst situation. So he was the best captain, and he was the best daddy in the whole world. Soon they get offshore and struggle to reach the island with the help of its inhabitants. Only 28 inhabitants lived there who helped the narrator and his family on Isle Amsterdam. Stepping on the land after such turmoil means hard work, very much hard work, fills the narrator's thoughts with cheerful and optimistic. Larry and Herbie, supportive Mary, a brave 7-year-old girl who did not want her parents to worry about her head injuries, and a 6-year-old boy who's not afraid to die. So they so when he stepped on the land, he was thinking about all those people who helped him in this tough situation. His two crewmen, his wife, his children, all were with him. So this was the chapter of a great courage and determination of a family. This chapter is very important if we talk about long questions and short questions. Be prepared with the whole text because your UTs are going to be based on multiple choice questions. So your reading the whole text is very very important. If there is any doubt, feel free to ask me, please. Okay, take care.